Welcome back, my dear fellow students. Hope you all are doing well. Today, let us learn about our culture and heritage of our country. From north to south and east to west, all the states of India have its own culture. India is a vast nation with different physical features and culture. We have different languages, customs, music, dances and also different types of dresses. So students, we are going to learn about the languages spoken in India, about our dresses, dance and music of our country, about the paintings, architecture and the festivals we celebrate. So let's begin. We all belong to different states, isn't it? In our house, we may talk in our regional languages. Language is an important medium for effective communication. We need language to express our thoughts. Tell me children, what's your mother tongue? I speak English, but my mother tongue is Malayalam. How do you say how are you in Hindi? Aap kaise ho? In Tamil, it will be Saukyama or Nalarka. In Telugu, Bagunava. In Kannada, how do we say? You find out. Children, our country is divided into how many states and union territories? Yes, 28 states and 9 union territories. Most of the states have their own distinct languages. A language may have many dialects or slang. Apart from Hindi, there are 21 languages in India which are recognized as the official languages of our country by the Constitution of India. Now let us learn about dresses. The regional diversity of India is found in the dresses worn by the people of different regions. The traditional customs of men and women are different in most of the states. Though sari is the most popular dress worn by the women of India, it is worn in different styles in different regions. The most popular dress worn by the women of northern India is salwar kameez, yes. The traditional dresses of men in India are dhoti, kurta or lungi, or kurta pajama and a turban or a cap they wear. These days, men and women wear trousers, shirts, jeans and t-shirts. Now let's see about the dance and music of our country. In our culture, dance and music are used for entertainment as well as it is to express devotion to God. Indian dance and music can be classified into classical and folk dance. Next is about dance. We are going to concentrate only about dance. Classical dances were usually performed in temples as a form of worship. Certain classical dances were performed before the kings in their court. The other dance forms have themes taken from the Indian mythology. Now let's see the major classical dances and their states of origin. Bharatanatyam, it's originated in Tamil Nadu. Kathak, Uttar Pradesh. Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh. Manipuri, Manipur. Odissi, Odisha, like that. Folk dances are performed during various occasions like festivals, marriages, birthdays, etc. to express joy and happiness. Folk dances express the spirit of a state. Some of the popular folk dances are Bhangra and Gidda, belongs to Punjab, Ghumar of Rajasthan, Lavani of Maharashtra, Bihu of Assam. These are the few examples. Next, let us focus on to the music. Music has always been a part of Indian culture. Indian classical music is divided into two styles. Do you know that? Hindustani music and Carnatic music. Hindustani music developed in the northern part of India, while Carnatic music developed in southern India. Both the styles of music are based on a combination of raga and tala. Each raga is sung at a particular time according to the specific season and occasion, while tala is the beat of music. That's a beat of music. Hindustani music comprises tumri, tapa, ghazal, khayal and drupada. Do you know the famous singers of Hindustani music? The famous singers of Hindustani music were Tanzeen, Haridas and Baiju Bawra. Tanzeen was one of the 9 gems in Akbar's court. He composed and sang many ragas like Raga Deepak, which could light diyas, and Rag Megh Malhar, which could bring rain. Carnatic music gives importance to bhakti and devotion. Tyagaraja, Shyama Shastri and Dikshitar were famous Carnatic musicians. So children, that's all about the dance and music. Now let's go to the painting. Painting is an important medium to express one's thought. The paintings of different times and eras tell us about the lifestyle of the people of those times. The cave paintings of Bhimbedka in Madhya Pradesh give us an idea about the lifestyle of the people of the Stone Age. And the beautiful cave paintings of the Ajanta Ellora caves in Maharashtra, it shows the life of God Buddha. They are approximately 1500 years old. Next, the art of painting was made popular during the Mughal rule in India. The Mughals, they encouraged art and brought painters from Central Asia and also from Iran. These painters painted miniature painting, landscapes and scenes from royal court. So that's all about paintings. Now let's see the architecture. Architecture is the art of making buildings. We can see different varieties. Our country is very rich in architecture, isn't it? The ruins of the Indus Valley civilization, it tells us about our achievements in architecture even 5,000 years ago. Pillars with the lion emblem belongs to King Ashoka's period are also a part of our architectural heritage. The Buddhist stupas of Sanchi and Sarnath are beautiful structures of that time. And the Mughals, they also contributed a lot to Indian architecture. They had their distinct style of architecture. Their structures had dome shape along with the minarets. Red Fort, Taj Mahal, Jama Masjid and Humayun's tomb are examples of their grand architecture. Do you know the construction of Humayun's tomb in Delhi was completed in the year 1572? Yes, it was. The temples of our country are also a part of our rich architectural heritage. Some of these temples have fine carvings on their walls. The Sun Temple at Konark, the temples at Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh and Meenakshi Temple of Madurai are examples of this type of architecture. The famous Kailash temple at Ellora has been carved out of a single stone. Can you believe it? The British brought a distinct style of architecture to India. Churches and offices were built like those in England. Buildings like the Victoria Memorial in Kolkata, Victoria Terminal, now it is known as Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminal at Mumbai, and the Rashtrapati Bhavan and Parliament House in Delhi. These are some examples of the British style of architecture. So now let's see our festivals. The diversity of India is also seen in the different festivals celebrated in our country. Festivals mostly we categorized into three, isn't it? National festivals, religious festivals and harvest festivals. National festivals, Independence Day, Republic Day and Gandhi Jayanti. And which all comes under religious festivals? Yes, Holi, Diwali, Eid, Christmas, etc. Harvest festivals are Onam, Baisakhi, Pongal and so on. So children, that's all about this chapter, our culture. Let's do a recap. So in this chapter, we have learned about India is a nation with rich culture and heritage. Apart from Hindi, there are 21 languages in India which are recognized as the official languages of our country by the Constitution of India. Later we have discussed about different states have their own traditional costumes of men and women, and about our dance, music and also architecture which enrich the culture of India. And there are three categories of festivals celebrated in our country. What are they? National festivals, religious festivals and harvest festival. Hope you all understood this chapter. Take care then. Bye.